Hi scientists! Welcome to the Elkhart Environmental Center. This hidden gem sits in the city of Elkhart and it contains over 80 acres of beautiful ecosystems that's just ready for you to explore. Come on with me and check it out. Today, we're joined with Jeff Zavatsky, who's the director of the Elkhart Environmental Center. Thanks for joining us today, Jeff.
Thank you, and welcome to the Environmental Center.
Thank you so much. We'd love to hear from you. When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, I wanted to do two things. I wanted to work with fish, because I kind of grew up on the lake, and I also wanted to be a trash man, because they had really cool trucks.
What is one fun fact about you that most people don't know?
I am a sailor. I'm a captain, and I like to sail on sailboats.
Where did you learn how to sail?
I grew up sailing up here on a small lake in Indiana, but then I spent about 18 years in Florida, and I had a big boat, and I lived on my boat.
So you obviously had some really neat interests that kind of feels like directed you a little bit towards this career. What made you choose this as your career?
Well, I enjoy working with the environment, and I did end up working with fish. So I had a career down in Florida for a while, setting up big aquariums all over the U.S. and private homes and offices, and ended up moving to a sailboat and showing people what fish is under the ocean. So I enjoyed working with people and the environment, and when I came back up here, I was lucky enough to take over this position. Can
you tell us what is a little bit about what you do here?
Well, we do a lot of things out here. The Environmental Center really is Elkhart's best kept secret. We are the old Lusher Avenue city dump. Back in the 50s, about 60 acres, people would bring their garbage out here. And we have this as a display to show people. And later in the 70s and 80s, the city of Elkhart took ownership of it and remediated it and took care of this and capped the dump. So the garbage is still below us. It's about 4 feet below us. And we have about 60, almost 80 acres of land and trails and habitat and ecosystems out here for the public and for really anybody to come out here and enjoy.
How much trash would you estimate is underneath us right now?
Well, it's still below us. It's about 66 acres worth of garbage, and it averages about 15 to 20 feet deep. So this is a nice example to show people, because you can't see it, so out of sight doesn't mean out of mind. So this is a way to visualize it. And if you come into the cabin, we have some old photos of the dump back in the 50s and 60s.
Other than being able to see what was once a dump and is now a beautiful preserve of nature, what would parents and kids' families expect to experience when they came here to the Environmental Center?
We are nestled on the Elkhart River, which is flowing behind us, and we have several ponds and pools here. We have several different ecosystems out here where you can explore. We have trails through the entire site. We also have a bike path that goes through the Environmental Center along the river that you can bring your bikes out here as well. And we have a lot of critters out here, a lot of animals and birds and vegetation out here. And basically it's just coming out and exploring and seeing what we have. Get away from the urban and the homes and coming out to the nature and the wild.
You mentioned there's a lot of different types of ecosystems. Can you share a little bit more? What are the different types of ecosystems we may see when visiting out there?
Sure. Well, we can start with water, since that's my favorite, working with fish. We're on the Elkhart River, and we have 2 ponds here. And one pond is a formal gravel pit that nature has reclaimed. And if we step up, we have a lot of wetlands that are here as well. We have an artificial wetland that we made. And in the springtime, we have a lot of vernal pools, which will flood in the spring, and then as the summer progresses, it slowly evaporates. There's a lot of salamanders and newts and toads and frogs in there. And then you can kind of step it up to, we have some prairies and wildflowers are out here, and we also have a lot of trees and the hardwood forest as well out here. So it's a kind of a all over the page as far as different ecosystems.
You mentioned a lot of the different types of wildlife that you would see out here. What is the most common wildlife you would see?
Probably the most common out here is birds. We have a lot of birds out here. Anywhere from water-loving birds to birds that are in the prairies or in the hardwoods. And then probably next we have a lot of deer, and we have a lot of turkey. We've also spotted foxes and coyotes on our trail cameras. We have a lot of small birds and big birds. We've seen a bald eagle fly along the river. We have a lot of hawks that are flying over as well. We've also had some sandhill cranes visit us too this past summer.
Can you visit the Environmental Center year-round?
Absolutely. We are open every day, dusk to dawn. And the cabin that we're in here now is open Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. And we also have special events and programs that we do that we're open as well. But we're a dog-friendly place. You can bring your dogs and go for a walk really anytime.
What are some things that you might see different in the winter time instead of like the summer, spring, and fall, which people typically are more outside during those times?
Well, that's a really good question because, I mean, we all know this time of year the leaves are changing, they're dropping. So that's giving us more visibility to see the different species, whether it's birds flying through the woods or along the river, or deer and turkeys that are going through the woods. We have the ability to see them instead of them being hidden with all the leaves. And if there's snow, there's paw prints, bird prints. So it's a nice tracking, adventure you can play to see what it is, maybe get a picture of it and see if you can identify it.
You mentioned you have different programs that are available. Can you share a little bit more? Are there any programs that are open for kids to be able to come and learn more about the environment?
Yes, we have programs just about every month that we do for little kids to big kids and to families as well. We do a lot of birdhouse building, we just made wood duck homes for them. And then we can do bird feeders in the wintertime, and really just kind of depends on what maybe we've heard more what people want to do or what they want to hear. So we try to put that in the program if there's some interest.
Is there something that our young scientists could help do to preserve their environment around them at home?
Absolutely, and that's always what they can do is just be aware of what you're using. We know where we can recycle and we can repurpose and we can reuse a lot of things, so it doesn't have to go to the landfill and create something like this. And we've gotten pretty smart about it in the last several years. So I think if you can be aware of what you're using and recycle what you're using, so we're trying to keep our footprint down for future generations. And then I always say now a big push is to plant native flowers, whether it's pollinator gardens or for local habitat. If you have a yard, a small space, it doesn't have to be big. You can plant some seeds and watch it grow and see what kind of life comes in.
And lastly, how can our scientists learn more about the Elkhart Environmental Center?
I would say come on out here. Bring your family, bring your parents out here and talk to us. We have a lot of flyers and programs, and we post stuff online on Facebook. You can ask your parents to show you our schedule. And we do stuff every month, so it changes up. And if you want to see something, you have more questions, ask us and we'll develop a program for that.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Jeff, so much for allowing us to come and check out today and for being able to share it with all of our scientists back home. Thank you for your time and sharing your heart, your passion, your vision for the Environmental Center. And I encourage all of you scientists at home, make sure to come check it out. And when you do, make sure you say hi to the Elkhart Environmental staff. They are incredible.